of Snap Decisions. I am your host with the most, your Snap DJ, and I've got a very special guest who it seems like I've known forever. He is Snap Variants from Twitter. I'm sure if you play Snap, you know this guy's name. Always sharing amazingly cool variants on the X, man. I'll tell you, when I first got into playing, I can remember even back then seeing all these cool and amazing variants out on Twitter, and you were that person who's been doing that since I can remember playing. So thanks for joining me tonight. Really great to have you on the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's great because I've been listening to you since you first started.
Thank you.
And it's interesting moving into the podcast for the first time. So
no, I appreciate it, man. I you're not the other people have told me the same thing. Like I think when Ree was on with me earlier on, I think she had said she hadn't been on a podcast for a long time and stuff like that. So I'm honored that people feel comfortable coming on. I really am. I mean that makes me happy that's the case. I'm glad that people feel and I've I'm honored that people feel that way about the show, and thank you for listening, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, and you've come a long way. Your format has changed a lot.
Yeah.
You started with no guests at all, and you have guests every week now.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It really has. Like I've changed a bunch of things. I can't believe. I think today I did my audio pod. So, that counts with all these too. But I think it was my 87th episode. Whoa. So I'm only 13 away from 100, which is kind of crazy. I was just listening to. I usually listen to KM Best's stream with him and Brandon, or his podcast, and I think they just hit 88 or 89. I'm like, damn. I'm like, I can't even believe I'm that close. They've been doing this for so long, but yeah, no, I'm having a blast.
Then.
I'm right. I'm having a blast. It's funny because Glazer from Snap Judgments, he was busting my stones. I was telling him the one time about. I said, yeah, I do a show here, and he goes, you do like 4 or 5 shows a week sometimes. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I said, what are you gonna do? I enjoy it, I love doing this. And I've told many people it's letting me live out my career dream, kind of, because this is kind of what I wanted to do anyway. And when I got introduced to doing podcasting back with when I did my wrestling show and I started back during COVID, that I still do. I just enjoyed it. I love talking to people like back then. And that's kind of what got me into doing the guesting with this. Because I figured, I was able to talk to pro wrestlers when they were sitting at home because they had nothing to do during COVID time. So it's like, what else are you going to do? Try to promote yourself and come on a show. So I got to talking to them and I really enjoyed it. I had a blast doing that. And it's like, we do other things as well on there, but I had a ball just talking to people, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to maybe see if I can incorporate that. And I really honestly didn't think I would get that many people interested or get to know that many people that would come on. But I just reached out, and everybody's been awesome. Like I reached out via DMs and stuff like that just to people, and didn't think in a million years half the people would respond to me. Like there's some of the bigger people I've had on, like Safety Blade and and so many others that have joined me on the show. I really didn't expect that. So yeah, it's been awesome. I love this community. I really do. Everybody is so kind and nice and stuff like that. I really do enjoy it. So, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm so glad that you chose to be on today.
Yeah, the community is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is why I've stuck around as long as I have, and why I even started contributing on social media. And
yeah,
I think that seeing that the community was so positive, encouraged me to participate.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see why that would be the case. But yeah, it really is. I mean, you'll find a bad apple here and there, but that's just X. You're going to have that everywhere on social media, unfortunately. But yeah, for the most part, everybody's been awesome. I've met so many amazing people in doing this in these last several months since October that it's crazy. And I'm having a blast. Even though my low tech YouTube channel is is not the most advanced thing out there, but hey, I just love it. I even still love doing the audio pod and stuff. But no, I appreciate it. You've given me some Snap's given me some pretty good advice too with some of the stuff that he wanted to hear. Part of the reason I was talking about sound effects earlier on my audio pod today, because I'm going to try to incorporate those a little bit on the audio show to you. So I went and I found some cool stuff, and that was, pretty much from your suggestion. So yeah, but I want to get to know you a little bit better as far as coming to Snap. So when did you start playing Snap? Did you get in like really early? Did you get in on the beta? Like, when did you start playing the game?
Yeah, I started in the first season, like pretty close to the end, maybe the last week or two. I think that was what, Symbiotes, if I remember correctly. Like,
yeah.
But I really fell into it. I don't know. I have played a couple different card games before. I played Hearthstone for 3 months, 6 months, and also Gwent for a while. I mean, I was in this period of my life where I was really busy, and really only phone games were really what I was playing, every once in a while. So I loved that Marvel. Well, first off, that Ben Brode was doing Marvel Snap.
Yes. Yeah.
Hearthstone was great. So I mean, but I really liked the fact that it was so short. That the games were, a couple of minutes. So that's what really pulled me in. And especially at that time, I had a toddler and an infant, and
oh my gosh,
finding time to do anything. Being able to play a game for 1 or 2 games just as a small break was fantastic.
Yeah, so, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, I got in then, and then I've just been playing ever since. I mean, like I said, the community really made it easy to stay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I don't know. I didn't hit Infinite until the next one. I think the Black Panther season.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Hit Infinite, and I want to say I've hit Infinite every time since, which is not true, because once, oh man, what was it? I think it was maybe the Zabu season. It was like Zabu, and then I think Thanos at the end of that started dominating, and I just couldn't do it. Like I kind of got over. What is it? I got a little bit overwhelmed and got sick of it, and kind of took a break. But
yeah, no, that's awesome. I don't know. I can't even remember the days, or tell you I can remember the days of when my kids were that young. That's insane. And if anybody doesn't know what he's talking about, you don't have children. It is when they are that young, you're lucky if you get a minute to yourself. I can remember, I've obviously have memories. My oldest daughter, I can remember when my wife and I were still living in an apartment. And just when they're waking up, and we'd be taking shifts. My wife would get some sleep so she could work. I would get some sleep so I could work, and we would just take turns. But man, when they're young like that, shoo boy, it's you have no time to do anything sometimes. So I can relate. We're enjoy it though. I will say that, because we're empty nesters, and it goes like that. They're both like my youngest is in her going to third year of college. And my oldest is living in New Jersey. She's getting married actually in October. And she's working for L'Oreal in New York City in a big skyscraper. So it's like, it goes so fast. So enjoy it, because it's it does really, really fly by.
Oh, that's awesome! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. No, thank you so much. Yeah, I can totally relate to you though, and I can understand why you'd want to play a game like that then, because you it's not like you can sit down and play a video game for 2 hours when you have kids. So Ben Brode brought you in. A lot of people, it does. That's the same answer I get from a lot of people that say that Ben Brode was the one who attracted them to the game, obviously from Hearthstone. Are you a big Marvel fan too? Like, do you like the IP? Are you into like the MCU, comic books, stuff like that?
I'm not a big Marvel fan, but I watched all the most of the MCU movies as they came out. I mean, I had friends who were into comic books when I was younger, so I had I had a pretty good awareness. But of course, I loved the X-Men animated series when I was a kid.
Man.
I mean, that's my closest experience with Marvel.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, that was during a formative time. So,
Yep.
I've not been a big comic book reader. So
I gotcha.
but playing this game, of course. I mean, I've learned so much more about the Marvel universe than I
I'm
ever
sure.
imagined I would. So
Yeah, I'm sure. You must have really loved it. You watched the new X-Men series, right? The X-Men 97, the new one that came out?
oh yeah, of course. It was wonderful.
It really was. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect going in. I mean, I remember watching the old series. I saw it all. I enjoyed it. But man, oh man, like the animation just blew me away. So much of it looked like, a lot of it looked like anime style, some of it. But it was just tremendous. And then that whole ending with Wolverine and doing the ripping the adamantium out of his body, I couldn't believe it. I'm sitting there with my mouth open. I'm like, I can't believe they did that. I remember reading it in the books, but I'm like, no way. When I saw him claw Magneto, I started to say, they're not doing this. They're not going to do this. And then they did it, and I was like, oh my God, they actually did that. It was amazing. I just heard rumors today. I talked about it on my pod that they are now looking into doing an animated movie. They didn't say what the subject was going to be, but they said that because of the fact that they've seen the success that they have with the Into the Spider-Verse stuff that Sony does, they're thinking about doing an animated movie. So I would not be surprised if it doesn't end up being something of a spin-off, like from that show that they might do. So that's cool. Listen, everybody comes in for different reasons, but yeah, I mean, most have seen some of the movies, at least if you haven't seen them all. But yeah, I could see your point about learning, from the game, because I'm still doing that. Like I talked about Gwenpool. I knew nothing about Gwenpool, nothing. Like I know her character, I know what she looks like, but I knew nothing about her. And so I have to go and I had to read some comic books about her, and now I love her. I think it's hilarious. Her comic books are hilarious. It's like fourth wall talking to fourth wall and knowing she's in the fourth wall. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Everybody comes from different places and stuff like that to play the game. So you started a little after beta. I'm trying to think. I started in Miles season, the Miles Morales season. I think was the first one. So I think that might have been a month or so after. I don't really remember. But you've hit Infinite every month. Hey man, obviously you're pretty good. To me sitting here and just hitting Infinite last month.
You're so close. No, I think you're going to be fine now. I think once you get there once, I think it's so much easier. I don't know. Somebody told me I think it was the first time I was fighting for Infinite, that like second season, and I got to like 98, 99, right? Yep. And then I fell down again to like 93. Yep. And I was just chatting. I think it was probably in the Marvel Discord or in the Marvel Snap Discord, the main one. And somebody said something that I will always, they said, if you got there once, you'll get there again. And that's what stuck with me. I'm like, because I was just feeling so defeated. Like, how am I ever going to get back? Yep. And like, they were right. I got back up. By the next day, I finally hit Infinite, right? Yep. And so that has carried me through every Infinite climb. You got there before, you're going to get there again.
It makes sense. Like I couldn't even start. I've gone back to work since my time off, and I'm like, well, I had so much time to sit and play, and I think that was a lot of it. I mean, time is a lot of it. And I thought, oh man, now I'm back to work. It's going to get less and less. I might struggle, but I'll tell you what, I sat and played yesterday. And here I am with the almighty herald of Galactus himself. And I'm like, I'm going to prove to the world that I could do this with a Galactus deck. So I couldn't believe it. I went from I was at 74. That's as far as I got, because I hardly had a chance to play ladder. And I climbed all the way up to 93 yesterday in one shot with that Galactus deck. And I was shocked. I'm like, there's no way. But you're right. And I think the lessons that you learn, right, from going through it the first time, and just me thinking in my head of, okay. And I think the best part about what I'm, what I learned, or the best things that I've learned is I don't take big losses anymore. I just don't. If I know, like, I'm in trouble, like I'm coming up against an Arishem deck and here I am playing a slow ramp deck, and they already have like 4 or 5 cards out. I'm like, yeah, I'm not winning this. So I'll just take the 1 cube and go. I don't mess around with that anymore. And that was my big thing before. I was believing too much in my own deck, thinking that, yeah, I can get myself out of trouble with a certain card or two. And then I was taking like 4 cube losses, 8 cube losses. And I just figured to myself, you know what? I'm just not doing that. I'm just not doing that anymore. So, but yeah, I agree with you. I think that's a big part of it. You know, when you do hit it, you kind of get that feeling that you got there the one time, like you said. And, you know, it's really not that hard to get back there again. So, yeah.
I think that something I've realized this last season is the first time I've like tried on ladder. Mm-hmm. I mean, I just never really put much effort. I played Conquest when Conquest came out, but like ladder seemed like such a grind to really get too far in. But in the last couple weeks of the season, last season, I kind of like pushed a bit to just see where I would get. And one of the things I realized is that like when you're climbing early on, you get bots, you get people who aren't as strong as you, and they'll snap, and you know, okay, I can take them. You know, they made an incorrect snap.
Yep.
But once you get to the like 90s or higher level ladder, if somebody snaps most of the time, that you're done for. I mean, you have to take the idea. Like I started learning, like take 1 cube. I mean, almost all the time, I leave if somebody else snaps, and I let them stay for me, right? Yep. And that helped a lot to not lose, to not fall down.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's sometimes you're like, like I just need 1 more card and I'm there, and I got it, and you can't go off that one card you don't have. So.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm trying to retrain myself with Galactus as well, because it's always been my favorite deck, and it's just a simple ramp style deck. I'm playing the old classic with Nebula and Electro and Wave and that old, the goblins. It's the classic. It's the classic deck, and I can't believe how much it's worked. Like, and now I do have Professor X in there too to help me out, so he's won some games, but mostly it's Goliath and Daredevil that are winning me games in the deck. But it's like I just know. See, and what I used to do is I used to play for the Galactus play all the time. I was trying to play for the Galactus play. Well, I know that in this meta, people playing Arishem, they have big power out on turn 3, and it's like, okay, got to abandon that and try, go some other direction and stuff. So yeah, it's a very good point. You once you shift your focus a little bit, and you realize that there's other ways to win in your deck other than that one, and then too when you're beat, it's really a big part of it. It really is. It really is.
So you're a big Galactus player. What was your favorite flavor of Galactus? Like, it's gone through a lot of changes.
I had the card initially when it first came out. I got it in a cash back then, which was like astronomically low odds. And I remember opening it up, and I remember saying to myself, like, this card sucks. Why would I want to do this? But then again, I've told this story. Like, then someone played me with one and had the Spider-Man deal going on. I'm like, oh my God, am I an idiot? Like, I could have been playing this. I would have been infinite over and over again had I known about that off the bat. But I think I like this. So what would he have before this one? Was he 6'7"? I think the 6'7" one, I think, was the one I liked the most. I think he was 6'7" before he became 6'5". I think, if I remember right. So I think it was the 6'7" one that I liked the most. I find it's really weird. Like, I think the reason why I think I'm winning now with him is because I just think that nobody expects it. I don't think anyone expects it. Even though they see me playing a traditional deck like that, and ramp, you don't really see much in the meta at all, unless it's like Sandman ramp or something like that. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just don't think anyone expects it. And it's like, prior to that, when it was so prevalent, the minute anybody would see an Electro come to the board, they were like, yeah, they're playing Galactus, so I'm just going to make it so that they can't use it. I don't know. I just think I like the character. I always have. And it's one of the reasons why I like it so much. And I also just like I love the animation. The animation is so fun. when he just blows everything up on the entire board. That animation's awesome. And I don't know. I just liked, and I'm very good at it. I've played it so much. I'm just really good at it. And it's like, so, and my snap conditions are easier because I know when I can win and when I can't. But yeah, I don't know. It's really, really weird. I hope someday I don't know if they ever would, because it's such a controversial card. There was so much flack going on about that. I remember on Twitter and stuff, people were hating it and saying the game was awful and unplayable and blah, blah, blah. So I doubt that. I doubt they'll ever touch him, but I don't know. I would like to see, maybe, who knows? There's a Fantastic Four movie coming out next year and he's in it. So who knows? Maybe they'll give him a break for a month. But I don't know, man. It's just, I just enjoy it. I just enjoy that style of gameplay. I know people might say I'm toxic. Oh man, you suck. You just want to see the world burn. Yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, So
the same thing happened to me. I pulled Galactus first from a cache. It's my first Series 5 card.
Yeah, me too.
And I didn't have the cards to support it at all.
Yeah.
Like, so then I had to like figure out how to make this work. So I just started building like normal decks, like ongoing decks, and then trying to like throw in the Galactus at the end. But I don't know. I did not do so well that first round. I had to wait until I got a little farther into Series 3 to really make use of him.
It's so funny. Like I was going through my variants and stuff a little bit today because I just wanted to look at a bunch of them, because sometimes you just don't stop and look and see what you have. And my whole entire early iteration of the Galactus deck that I had, every one of those cards I have almost every single variant for. Like Death, I just got the Flaviano one, which that was the last Death variant I needed. And she was in every Galactus deck I played. Every one. Null was another one. I have every Null variant that there is, and it's the same reason. He was in every Galactus deck. Electro, Wave, almost all of them. I have every variant for, because that's all I played. And I just had tons and tons of those cards. And some cards have changed a little bit. Like I've thrown other stuff in there. Like I said, now it's Daredevil was a big staple for that too. For the most part, Nebula, Daredevil, Electro, Wave, Jeff got put in there when Jeff came out. Alioth is big now. Alioth is huge. People don't really see that coming at all. Especially, man, I eat Surfer decks for lunch. I eat them alive. I can figure out so easily where they're playing that big last turn that they want, and if I have priority, they're dead. And they'll snap me thinking, yeah, I got you. I've got my Surfer, and I've got my my Absorbing Man, and I've got my It's like, no, you don't. But yeah, Alioth has been big, and I have Red Hulk in the deck now too as my big body. So
that's great.
Yeah, he just chews up power. So yeah, and the two goblins. I mean, Green Goblin and Hobgoblin are decent in this meta now too. You know what it is, and you can tell me whether you've seen this too. I've been playing a lot of different decks that want to fill up their lanes. Like almost every deck I'm playing, like a Zoo list or the Surfer list or whatever they are, they're filling up their lanes. So if you can get a Goblin stuck in there, you're really mixing their game plan. You're really messing up what they want to do. And that many times I've won simply because I got a Hobgoblin on one of their lanes. They ignored it. And then it's like, yep, okay, and here's Galactus on turn 6. So yeah, it's weird. I cannot believe it's working as well as it is. I can't. I really can't.
I think that's why Clog has made a comeback recently.
It has.
Yeah. And I mean, really, it's Arishem. Arishem, like you have to like be able to match the power that Arishem can throw down.
Yeah.
And the scale at which Arishem can throw down a lot of power, especially if you get good cards early on.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk a little bit about that. I mean, what are your thoughts around that card? Like, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought it made the game fun. It kind of introduced almost like a self draft mode in a way. And I had a blast with it. However, now I'm kind of seeing things a little bit from the other side. And this was one of the reasons why I was a little hesitant to play ladder to start the month again, because I was like, I know I can't go back to the deck that I made Infinite with last month because it's not gonna work. Like it's gonna lose to these Arishem decks. There's no way it's gonna beat them. And so then I'm looking around. I'm like, oh, well, what am I gonna play? Like I don't know what's gonna match up against that. And if you like, are you seeing any like issues with the card? Like some people want it to be nerfed, like tomorrow on the OTAs that we're getting on Thursday. People are hoping that it gets nerfed. I don't think it does. And even if it would, I don't know how they could do it. Like the energy is what makes that make that go. It's not the cards. It's the extra energy that makes that so good. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the card? I know it's gotten so much play. That was insane, like 70% or so in the meta, which is nuts. So yeah, what do you think about that card? It seemed to have stirred up some controversy out there.
I mean, I was one of the people who that was the card I wanted the most out of that season.
Yeah,
I was so excited for Arishem.
Yeah.
I love it. I played a lot of it when it came out, and I loved going into the mirrors. I mean, that couple days. Yeah. Where it was just Arishem mirrors was so fun. It was like sort of a mini draft mode.
Yeah.
But you're right that it is pretty powerful. But I think this was planned out by Second Dinner. I mean, we have a couple weeks where Arishem can rule, and it's already died down. It's not like it's overpowered. I mean, it's not like it is the deck of the meta right now.
Right.
But Cassandra Nova's coming out.
Yeah,
that is the killer to Arishem. So I mean, it is going to put Arishem decks on hold for at least a couple weeks. Everyone is going to get Cassandra Nova because it's through the
free card.
Deadpool Steiner. Yeah, it's a free card. Is exactly right. Right, you play enough, you get the free card.
Yeah,
and it slots into almost anywhere. It's like it is a really powerful. It is, in my opinion, that is the most powerful and the best card of this season. Is Cassandra Nova, not just because of its power with Arishem, just in general. Like you can throw it in for 3 power. You sap power from their deck. I mean, it's wild. I mean, it's going to be good against Thanos. It's going to be good against Arishem, for the future on. But it's just gonna. I think everyone's going to be going down to 12 card decks for the foreseeable future once that card hits.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm curious to know, and I was thinking about this card the other day. Will the cards that she stole the power from, will they show it when they hit the board? In other words, like for something like Ajax, right? Like or like Scorpion, are they going to show that they lost the power on that card, or does she just gain it and there's nothing else shown? Because that would be, my gosh, that would almost be, you'd almost want to play Ajax at that point if she's in your deck, because if they come out on the board and they're showing that little red number and they're not their original power anymore, then holy cow, that would be an amazing combination. But I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to do that, or if she's just going to gain that much power. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. I would think they would show it, because otherwise, I don't know. Otherwise it's weird. You wouldn't know that she did. So I don't know. I that's one for the devs. I don't really know if they're going to do that or not, but yeah.
No, I think that they lose 1 power. It's going to be a -1 on there. Yeah. So yes, it will affect Ajax, but Luke Cage is going to go everywhere. Everyone gets a Cassandra, everyone's playing Cassandra, everyone's going to play Luke Cage. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's going to be the tech card for the next couple of weeks once Cassandra comes out.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, well, and I mean, after today with Ajax too, it probably already is. I mean, this is it. If anyone's playing this, I don't know. It's a 5/7 now. They did change it. They give it a little bit more power. At first, I was thinking about this card, and I'm like, okay, maybe high Evo, right? The high Evo negative list. Put them in there. Scorpion, your opponent. All their cards are coming out with a negative. You have the Cyclops in there doing its thing. All that. You can get an abomination for free practically with all that. And then, but then, it's like, I don't know, like that list is kind of solid. Like they already have big power cards. They have Hulk, they have She-Hulk, so I don't know if they want to mess with that. Then I'm thinking like, all right, like, I don't know, something with Hazmat, put Hazmat in there, play a Typhoid Mary, and make your own guys negative, and that builds them up even more. And then you could always drop a Luke Cage down last turn if you want to. So I don't know. Like, what do you make of this card? I think when I did my rankings for it, I only gave it a 2. In fact, today when I did it, I gave it 2. I gave it a 2.5. I was like, I just don't. I know it can get big, but I just don't know like where it fits. Like those decks that use those cards, like Hazmat Surfer, they're not going to probably need this card or put it in that list. So what are your thoughts on Ajax?
Yeah, I played around with it today. I crafted a toxic surfer around it because I started building. I did a toxic surfer last month, I think, to get to infinite.
Yeah,
but you're right. It's just clunky, and even when it was a 4 cost, it made so much sense. This was a great card at 4. And I get it. I understand why they put it at 5. And I'm assuming that's because, again, Cassandra Nova is going to superpower this card. But he's just not. Ajax is not really going to be that playable until until like the Cassandra Nova, meta dies down.
Yeah.
Because right now, you're right. There is one card that shuts Ajax down. Ajax's power down, Luke Cage, and you can play it anytime, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like Darkhawk, even Ronin, right? It's not like there's like one card that just wipes out that power. Ajax is like really vulnerable, so you have to wait until it's not a Luke Cage meta, and we're just about to go. We're starting to be in a Luke Cage meta with him, and we're just about to be in a full-on Luke Cage meta.
Yeah.
So, but I love Rogue. Rogue is for a long when we've been in a Luke Cage meta before, and when we were with like High Evo.
Yeah.
During that time, I didn't run Luke Cage at all. I only ran Rogue so I could steal Luke Cage.
Yeah,
so
smart.
There are ways to get around it, but like in Conquest, it's not even worth it. You can't once you revealed your your hand, or if they have a Luke Cage, they're gonna play it last turn. This is only something you can really pull off on ladder. One match.
Yeah, Rogue is super popular now. Super popular with the Darkhawk stuff going around and against Arishem. Yeah, Rogue's a great card. But yeah, no, I see your point. It is when you can counter it with. That's why I was saying I want to try it in that ongoing list and just see. That's that same list that had Jean Grey that was going around for the longest time. I just figured, he's ongoing. Let me throw him in there. And even if I throw Man Thing down on a middle lane and I nail 4 of their cards or whatever in that lane, it's still going to get pretty high. It's going to get to like a 5'11", 5'12". And then he'll get the bonus if you play Spectrum at the end of the game too. So it's just like a big body to kind of put in there. But yeah, I agree. I don't know that like those other lists, the one you mentioned with the Hazmat, the Surfer Hazmat list with Wong and all that kind of stuff. They're so like they have the cards you want to play on certain turns. And then it's the same thing with really anything. And with High Evo too, I don't know. I just don't see it. Like I don't see it being a staple in that deck. But yeah, I had mentioned earlier when I did my audio show earlier this afternoon that I would probably, unless I was a player who needed Darkhawk, I'd probably skip this week because there's just not Beta Ray Bill, fun card, but he's not played much other than that one Thor list. And so yeah, like if you're a person who doesn't really need to open for Darkhawk, I'd probably skip. How about the fact that they changed they changed Hydra Bob already, man? They announced it. They not literally put the announcement out. I think it was this morning. I want to say 8:30 or so this morning that they were changing him. So at least they gave some people a little bit of time if they wanted to get him prior to them doing it. But they're already making him a 1/5. I tried him too. He's fun, but a 1/5 will make him a little better. It's a pretty good stat line. But the whole snap mechanic is just weird. And it's like, I don't know. If I'm going to play for priority, I'd probably rather play Titania or Martyr even. But yeah, did you end up getting Hydra Bob?
Yeah, I got Hydra Bob, and I played with him. There's a reason that he's got some of the lowest stats, in the game.
Yeah.
He just doesn't really add much, and the loss of where he goes.
Yep.
I mean, the loss of control over where he goes is really difficult.
Yeah.
And I can see places that you can put him, but at 1-4 it just made no sense. I don't know. I want to try him again at 1-5. I mean, it actually is huge. That 1 point is enough to win a lane, right? So
Yeah.
it's enough to tie a Doombot, right? I mean, it's good. I don't know what I hope. I was hoping what they would do is what I would like is a card that increases with snap or with increases in power with a snap.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's the sort of strategy I'm interested in. Like, I wish he was like a 1-1 and then got +2 with each snap, because I think that would create a little bit more like tension in the game. Than I mean,
Yeah.
so that like it's like when it's the high stakes, then he actually matters.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. No, that's true. It's a good point. So what do you think of overall, what do you think of this season so far? I mean, it came off to be like, did you play Gwenpool? Did you enjoy her?
yeah, I did put her in also a surfer style
Yeah.
deck.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are playing her. Yeah.
And then I mean then I sort of shifted to a Wong deck, not without surfer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've had some success with her, but I can't seem to get her to be, like a top notch, tier 1, tier 2 deck.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't get the deck. I can't get a deck to, win enough to really be there. So I don't know. I think that again, I really feel like she is the perfect card. I don't know. Maybe this is the way that Second Dinner's going, because the same with Gilgamesh. They're perfect cards for folks who are tier 1, tier 2, maybe early tier 3. Like, they're cards that can go in lots of different decks and superpower a deck that's at those low tiers.
Yeah.
But once you're at the post infinite, even in the 90s, right? It's really hard to get the most value out of those. There's just better options,
Yeah.
Than those cards.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. When I looked at the cards of this season, initially, I was like, okay. I mean, we've been getting some pretty strong cards. Like the last few months, we've been getting some pretty strong cards. Cards that are like meta staples now, like Nocturne and cards like that are just everywhere. But this season, I think so far has been, I'm not going to say it's underwhelming, but that's a good way to look at it, like from your standpoint, as far as saying that maybe they are directed at earlier players that don't necessarily have complete collections. I mean, that's good, actually. It's something they really need to look at and do. So if that's the case, I'm not upset about that. That's fine. I tried her too. She's okay. I don't know that she's necessary for really any deck. I mean, it's kind of cool to get that extra bonus and stuff like that from her. But yeah, it's a weird month. Like when you looked at the first 3, you're like, Hydra Bob is not good. This guy here on the Ajax, kind of okay, and Gwenpool, okay, kind of okay. So it's been that way so far. But I mean, we are getting like you mentioned, Cassandra, of course. Is going to be a much anticipated one to end the season off. Of course, that, like you said, we're getting for free, which is big. And then this one, I mean, this one is a lot of people's card of the month. Copycat's a 3/5. Obviously, when you draw this, steal the text from the bottom card of your opponent's deck. I don't know this. I don't see how this card can be bad. You're getting information about your opponent's deck, first of all. Secondly, now which card they're not going to probably get, which is big. If they're playing something in particular, like a tribunal deck, and they need that one card, like an Iron Man, you can snap because that they're not getting that card. So I don't know. To me, she seems pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't mind having a 3/5 Galactus. But I don't know. Her and Cassandra are probably looking like they're going to be the best cards of this month, and they're coming out in consecutive weeks. But yeah, it's just seemed like a little bit of a different season. I'm okay with it, knowing what we're getting. Obviously, Young Avengers next season, and then the symbiote stuff, which is going to be crazy with the new Activate thing that's happening on the new cards. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's all right. I mean, what are your thoughts on Copycat? Since you talked already about Cassandra earlier.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's my second place card.
Yeah.
I mean, she's premium stats. 3/5 is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And then she does something that Cable used to do.
Yeah.
When I used to play the Galactus deck, I used to put Cable in. I think this was like there was somebody that played Galactus all the time that had suggested it, and I really liked it because you could like get a 1-up on folks early by snapping and pulling the card that they really needed.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't know if I don't know if you're going to be playing her every time, right? I mean, you're getting her for the information, and then maybe you luck out and get something really great to play her with.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, there will be times, like obviously if it's late game at that point, it probably really doesn't matter because they're not going to get that card anyway. Either way you look at it, and by then you're already well into the game. So.
But she's going to fit directly into Arishem and Loki decks.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right about that.
And of course, Surfer, you can throw her in Surfer. I don't know. She might be like a B tier Surfer card.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Anytime a 3-cost comes out, it's got to go into Surfer. Oh, yeah. Man. We're getting an OTA, obviously, on Thursday. So we already heard about Hydra Bob. That's going to be one of the things that they're adjusting. What anything that you hope to see coming up in that OTA card wise or anything like that you're looking for? I mean, there's always some cards that people. I mean, Cap was one of them forever. People were clamoring for Captain America to get something. But are there any cards that you're looking at that you think are either just maybe they're overpowered and could be calmed down a little bit, or anything like you play in particular that you would just like to see given maybe a little boost or a little bump there?
Yeah, I'm all for more buffs and less nerfs. I mean, especially for where we're at in, I think all the major issues have been nerfed. I think all the major issues have been settled down. I mean, I guess I don't have Glenn's view where I can see big spikes in cards, but I mean, I want Cannonball to get its power back because I feel like he doesn't fit anywhere right now.
Yeah.
And I think he could use that extra power. I mean, most of the time you're knocking that card away and you're not killing it, except for Blob. I mean, Cannonball basically has just become Arishem Blob counter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I love Cannonball. There's a lot of cards I still wish we could have Elektra. I mean, I have not. Elektra has such great variants, and I never get to really play with them, right?
Yeah.
I always wanted it. I know that there was discussion. I think of like her being kill a 2-cost or destroy a 2-cost.
Yeah.
I still think that, but I guess that's what Red Guardian ended up being. I mean, we're destroying. I mean, it has become the sort of kill the 2-cost or destroy the 2-cost, right? Yeah. I don't know. What about you? What's your big ones?
I'm trying to think like if it's. I don't really know. Like looking at things like, especially the buff. I mean, some certain cards like I would like to see given some love. Mr. Fantastic. I've always been a big Fantastic Four fan. Mr. Fantastic, I think, needs something. He should be better than +2. That's like minuscule nothing, especially knowing that you have Ms. Marvel out there that can do way better than he can. Essentially the same thing. I'm trying to think of like iconic cards that I like. Oh my gosh. Cards that are even like unplayable, like Jessica Jones. A card like her, again, another superhero I like a lot. I love their Marvel series on Netflix. I got to know the character from that. I just look at my some of my favorite cards that I look out there and see, or some of the favorite subject matter cards. I wouldn't mind if they give Man-Thing a little boost to do something a little more than he does, whether it's a boost for power or something like that, because I can't imagine he's really being played much at all. And yeah, well, as far as nerfs go, I don't know. Like, I know everybody's going to want something done with Arishem, but again, I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't know. They've done stranger things, though. They have done things to cards even in the same month or just a little bit after the card has come out. So that has been something we've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I would agree with you. I think that, we're in a pretty diverse meta. Like there's just a lot of stuff out there. There's that zoo list that's still performing really well. There's a lot of Surfer going on out there. There's Tribunal that's out there. There's Clog, like you said. I've seen a Cannonball Clog. Now that you mentioned Cannonball, so Clog is out there. Mill is still out there being played. So it's very, very diverse. There's a lot of decks that can win games that are out there. So you know what? Maybe I wouldn't be that upset if they reversed the Annihilus nerf. I didn't really think that was that necessary. Like, the deck wasn't being played very much the way it was, and so I don't know, but yeah.
Oh, you mean that you would throw 0 cost cards across as well?
Yeah. That and also like the power. I didn't think they needed to take the power off of Sentry. I didn't think that was that big of a deal. I know those decks were really prevalent and they were out there quite a bit, but I don't know. To me, it's like there's just so much power in the meta now. No matter where you look at it, like those decks I think would get overwhelmed. Like a Surfer deck would just wipe it out. Our Shem decks would just wipe it out. Like it's so I don't even think that's a big deal anymore.
Kang was the first card I bought with tokens. It would be nice to be able to use him. Yeah, I bought him so that I could play Kang with Galactus, and
you would think that would be a good thing. I tried it actually too. Yeah, you would think that would be a good move because you could go, okay, I'm going to Kang and I'm just going to see what they have and see if they could stop my Galactus play. So yeah, I that's a card that's a good one to bring up because that's a card I think he needs a rework. I think they just need to rework that card.
Like, I would be fine the way he is if they would just reduce his power. Like, if he was a 3 cost, if he was a 2 cost, that would be amazing. But the problem is that animation is so long and it really adds to the game. And on one hand, I would love a 3 cost Kang because you basically get a free card half the time, or not half. I think it's like 20 or 30%, something like that. But then you have to deal with that animation every day, and I don't want everyone else to, be playing Kang and extending everyone's gang. Can you imagine games where both players have Kang? That turns the 2 or 3 minute game into another minute, 2 minutes. Who knows? So.
I've seen Alex Kocha play that in a tournament, and he took it pretty far. He was playing a high Evo deck that had that in there. I think his high Evo deck was Moon Girl. So he had Moon Girl. He was doing the whole Moon Girl She-Hulk thing. He had Magic out, so he would get the free She-Hulk and then the Hulk last turn, Infinite last turn. But he had Kang in there just to see if his opponents were gonna. Actually, I think he was only using it to see if they're gonna wipe out his Limbo, if they were gonna take away his Limbo lane somehow. That's really all he was using it for, just to see if that. So I don't know. He's such a cool character, that he needs something. The card needs something. I think they're kind of just ignoring him, like they are with Adam Warlock at this point. It's like two of the best. They're both amazing characters in Marvel. Like Kang, of course, just now recently in all the movies, but even before that, all the storylines he was in comics and that. And then Adam, my gosh, the dude had the Infinity Gauntlet for a while. But yeah, just no love for these guys. And I get it. I know they're afraid of the Warlock thing because they don't want people drawing cards because they think it's too powerful. But I don't know. Then if that's the case, rework the card. Just put that on your radar and do something else with it. Rework it to get it back out there so people can actually play it again.
Yeah, cool. Agreed.
Cool. All right, so that is the Deadpool season. Go over a couple things here really quickly with you. So we're both in this, and oddly enough, we both played. So our first game of the new month. This is the Snap Judgment League, of course. This is season 3. I've played in all seasons so far. It just started. If you're not playing, you should. I don't think you can get in on this month's now, but join it the next time it comes out. It's literally so much fun. It's free to play. It's not chaotic. You partner up with someone. You talk about when you could play and when you can get together to play your games. And it's just a lot of fun. I've met so many cool people on the other side of the game and stuff like that. And I think it's bringing a much needed way to communicate with people also that you're playing in it. But yeah, it's really a lot of fun. And you beat me with a surfer deck, dude.
It's funny because I brought the surfer deck because I was afraid you were gonna bring Galactus.
I don't think I have the guts to play Galactus in a tournament. I'm gutsy, but I don't think that gutsy.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty. I mean, you had me to like.
No, you were down.
I thought it was over. Right, I was down to. I had 4 cubes. We were in a full snap in, like, and it was like, I thought it was over. Like, I think I like eked 1 point or 2 points in one of the lanes to win, right? Yep. So
yeah, it was a good match. It was a really good match. It went back and forth. I was playing an Arishem deck. And yeah, like it's so funny. Like with an Arishem deck, you have those riches of the extra energy. So you're playing cards out and stuff like that. But if you get screwed with cards and you just get garbage, and a lot of times that can happen where you just get a handful of like high end cards that you can't play right away, or you get a bunch of junk low cards. Like if you're sitting on a Carnage or if you're sitting on something like that you're obviously not going to play because you're not going to kill everything on your board. But yeah, no, it was a fun match. It was a good game. I know I messed up a Legion player really badly. Like you had the Brood, and there was a lane where you couldn't play in the lane. I think Death's Domain was out or something like that. But I should have. I don't know what made me think about it. I'm like, ooh, if I do this, I think I'm going to be able to play any cards. But then I forgot you had the Brood. I'm like, oh man, you just keep on playing Broods down every single turn. It's just keep and just keep putting Broods in the lanes. And I'm like, oh, that was really stupid. But
that was Luke's bar.
Luke's bar, that's right, because you could just keep going. Yeah, that's right, because everything would just bounce back up. But yeah, it was fun, man. I just enjoy it. I think you, like I said, you did pretty well. Did you? I don't know how far you got in your pod last month. I made it to top 4. I was 3-1, and then I went and won another game, and then I ended up losing. I lost like in the final 4, I think. So I didn't make it to the final 2 of the pod. But you did pretty well last month, right?
I did the same as you. Yeah, I got to this, but I got 2nd place. So I think you got 4th place, right?
Yeah.
Or I guess I don't know if that even matters. Yeah, I got to the last round, and then there was a meta change, and I did not go in with a great deck. So
yeah, that stinks. What
were you playing? The opponent was great. It was Surfer, but the problem is that I had been playing the Cannonball, or no, I played a Surfer deck, but I had been playing the Cannonball's like Professor X deck for I don't know 2 months at that point.
Oh yeah, that was
like the second that Cannonball came out, I started playing Cannonball. Yeah. But then it got overwhelming. It was too dominant in the meta. Yeah. Everyone was playing. Lockdown was too plentiful. Yeah. So I mean, I understand that it needed to get nerfed. So I just had not recovered and found like my good deck then. So
yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, when something happens, like when these OTAs come out, I know I've gone through it. I had decks that where I was really enjoying playing, and then all of a sudden an OTA comes out and boom, there goes your card, and you're like, well, I guess I'm not playing that anymore. But yeah, this league is a lot of fun, and like I said, I've met people, I've talked to people who I never knew before. Some of them came on the show and stuff like that. So it's really cool. If you haven't done it, go out and do it. It's free to get in. So it's a lot of fun to play. And again, it's very, very casual. It's not that you have to stand, sit at your phone all day and wait for tournaments and stuff like that. Those can be a little hard to do if you don't have the time to do them. But yeah, if you haven't done so, check it out. It's a very cool thing to do. I want to get into a couple other things with you. Obviously, later on in the season, we're getting this Deadpool's Diner, and of course, it's all for a free card. It's Cassandra Nova. That's kind of why I want, if I'm going to get to Infinite, I kind of want to do it soon because this comes out in, I think it's the last 2 weeks of the season. So I want to make sure I could do that. So I'm going to be able to play this. But overall, like, what are your thoughts on this overall? I think they should have led off their little conference thing with this instead of the roadmap and stuff like that they did. That turned out to be pretty rough. But I would have started off with this and say, hey, we got a new game mode and you're going to get a free card. I would have that simple. But I don't know. This looks fun to me. I don't know how it's going to work or the mechanics. I think that, people were looking at the chart, at the flow chart and seeing that the base card of Cassandra is 50 million and they're like panicking about it. I'm like, it's not going to be that hard to get to that. I don't think a million looks like a lot, but I think a million is going to come quickly. So I don't know. I like the effort. I like the effort that they're trying something different. I think they realize that a lot of people just aren't playing Conquest much anymore. And now if this goes over and it seems like people are going to do it, who knows? Maybe they'll give us a free card once every quarter or something like that of the year. And I'm okay with that. I'm all right with getting free stuff.
Yeah, I think that what I understand from this is that there's just a bunch of tiers, and then you have to win a certain number of games or a certain number of cubes in that tier.
Yep.
And then you just move to the next tier, and then you can't fall down. And I think the numbers just exponentially go up, but you're doing the same thing, whether it's with like tens, 20s, and 30s, or millions, and billions. It doesn't really matter. It's the same. Yeah. You're doing the exact same thing. So. Yep. I think it's just a way to get folks to keep coming back. I mean, I think they refresh. Like, so you go and play and you use up all your bubs for that tier, right? And then after 8 hours, they're all refreshed. So it's just, I think that it's going to be fine. It's going to be fun to do. You get so far, then you wait your 8 hours to try again, right?
Yep. And you're on, and like you said, it's tiered. So I believe you're on that tier, and you can't fall below it once you hit it. So that's cool too. Yeah, I'm fine with it. Look, everybody's been kind of clamoring for something new. They're like, "Oh, Conquest is boring. We need something." Well, here you go. I mean, this is obviously going to be different. People are going to be trying to get that Cassandra Nova variant, and they're going to try to get all the way up to the top to get it. So, I think it's going to be fun. And who knows if it works well, it may come back again. I'm looking forward to this. This, of course, is Alliances. This comes out the end of the month. I'm pretty excited about this, just simply for nothing else than the fact that if you look it up on the screen, you see the screen on the right is a chat. I think that's awesome too. And I come from playing Magic a lot back in the 90s, and I liked the interaction. I like the face-to-face interaction of players. I think that's. And digital games, you just don't get that. And especially with Snap, the only thing we really have to communicate are by those stupid emotes. And they're always toxic in one way or another. And you can even put something up there that you don't think is toxic, and yet the other person's going to think it is. So they're a mess. So, but I think this might be fun. I don't know exactly how it's going to be. I think I heard Nina as Noob talking about it as a content creator and how she's going to manage that. Like, God bless. I don't know how any of those bigger content creators are going to do it, especially if they're limited to one and you can only do 25 people. That's going to be really difficult to pick. But I'm looking forward to it primarily for the chat feature. No matter which one, if I join or if I have one of my own, I'm just going to like it for the fact that everybody can kind of chat. I think that's cool.
No, I agree. I'm not sure it's like it's the most important thing for content creators, because everybody has their own Discord, and they can mod it and manage it there.
Right.
I think that what this is really great for is the folks who are not engaged with social media, not engaged with the community at all. That they can build they can join a little community.
Yeah.
They can exchange decks. They can, they can feel a little bit more connected to other folks that are playing Marvel Snap. Yeah. And that's huge. I mean, I think that, again, like I said at the beginning, I mean, this is a big reason why I kept coming, is that the community was healthy. It seemed pretty great. So I hope that this does help others, that, this is a real casual thing, but it can feel a little bit closer.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the fact that you could share decks in there and stuff like that. And yeah, it is very Discord-esque. Like you're mentioning. You look at the chat; it looks a lot like a Discord chat. So yeah, I agree. I think this is going to be a good thing. Then they're going to do that whole alliance wars thing where you're going to be able to battle against each other. It's not, again, we didn't get certain things we wanted. I know people wanted a different game mode. They wanted a draft mode and stuff like that. We didn't get that, but at least they are changing it. Things are changing a little bit. They're changing things, and maybe they'll look at Conquest again, and maybe they'll do something with that. Get rid of practice mode or whatever the heck that's called. Get rid of that. Do away with it.
Proving grounds.
Proving grounds. Yeah, get rid of that. Just go right into silver. Make silver a one game thing and stuff like that. Just I don't know, change it around a little bit. But yeah, at least they are doing stuff. And you're seeing that they are trying to change the game and make the game better. So I'm all for that. I think that's good. All right. So moving on here. We have don't want to spoil that, and I just did. We each decided to do a top 5. Now I will say Snap Variants was the one who gave me I got the idea of doing a top 5. I think you mentioned it once, and I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds kind of cool. And so many other creators do like their top 20 cards in tier 6, or they'll do tier lists and stuff like that. So I'm like, yeah, it sounds kind of neat. It fits with the radio theme, and so I kind of like that. So I did if you didn't hear the pod from today, I did the top 5 Galactus variants today. I kind of had to. I made it almost like an all Galactus tribute show in a way. But I did that. And so we have decided to do a top 5 list of each of our favorite animal cards in Marvel Snap. So there are a lot. And so we each went down the list and decided to do that on the show. So we're going to do that, and I'm going to go through them on here, and then we'll talk a little bit about why we chose what we did and where we ranked them. So I'm going to start off with your first one, and we talked a bit about this before the show. I'm putting this up there. I'm putting this up there because, man. This poor guy has gotten so much hate. Everybody thinks, oh my God, that's the worst variant ever. So, but you have a much different opinion on poor Hell Cow, man. So yeah, tell everybody why you picked him as one of your top 5.
I don't know. I think that he's sort of a meme variant. She's sort of a meme variant.
Yes.
I don't think everyone hates her. I think that I do think that she gets lots of eyes. I mean, it's such a strange variant for Marvel Snap. I mean, the barn, it feels like it's from a completely different game.
Yes.
And of course, like the udders in your face. I love it. It's a great pixel. I mean, it's like from those. This is like from those early pixels that had very, 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 wildly different quality up and down, right? We've, like you were talking, the Jubilee pixel is amazing. And this has got that old
style, classic. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Some of the variants at the very beginning were very, very bad. Like, I love it now when you get avatars of these things and you can't even recognize the avatar because the face just looks like a blur. It just looks like a big pixel blur of color, and you don't even know what it is. Which I think is, I think I have as one of my avatars, I have the Juggernaut one, which is hilarious because it looks like his head's just a big bubble on the front of the thing. So well, there you go. Some love for Hell Cow. I bet you never thought you'd hear that on a Snap show. So there you go. Awesome. I'm gonna go back and I'll go to my first one, and I chose Bast. This version of Bast is so cool. I remember when this came out, and this was, I think this was in a bundle or something like that. I don't even remember. But I'm pretty sure it was in a bundle. This looks so amazing to me, like that the way that it looks, the shadow, that whole thing. And this, I don't know if they got it from there, but this seems like they pulled it right out of the Black Panther movie when they were in that area where it was all dark and you saw the constellations and the stars and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, man, this is just brilliant looking. I don't know why I never played Bast enough, but I would love to have split this and get it inked because I think that inked version would look amazing. for this card. But yeah, that's why I picked it. I don't really even play. I can't even tell you the last time was that I played Bast. I probably was when the bounce decks were so relevant, and I was playing some of the bounce decks that were out there. Or he, works well with Mysterio and stuff though too. But yeah, man, I think this one's awesome. I just love it. I love the look of it, and almost looks like a constellation. I just love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I love this artist as well. Like Fiona Heish. I'm not sure how
Heish.
You say the last name, but yeah, she's amazing. Like I have I bought that Carnage and Venom one that she did, but I don't play Destroy enough to really have done much with them. But
yeah, me either. All right, I'm gonna go back to yours, and we'll go down to this one. You picked a Zabu.
Yeah, I don't even own this spotlight. I don't remember what was in the spotlight at the time, but it didn't really appeal to me. This is the same artist. This is Fiona Heish, and
nice.
It's like one of those spotlights that I have like FOMO for. I wished I had pulled it, but I don't know. I do think this is the best Zabu. It looks great animated. Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's fierce. I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. I agree. It is. It's very cool. Yeah, I like this one. I got this one too. Poor Zabu, man. Poor went out for Zabu. There's a card that they are saying that they're working on him now. Maybe at any time during an OTA, we might get him to increase somehow or something like that. They might be waiting as well. Someone mentioned this, and I thought this was interesting. Wonder if they might be waiting to put an activate on him, where they make him an activated card. So
I might have been the one that said that.
Did you say that? Okay.
I mean, I really think that's what's happening with Zabu.
Could be
that they're gonna put an activate on him, and this is what. I think we were talking about this in the season pass card right now, Gwenpool.
Yes.
That's what I want her. So my first attempt with Gwenpool was with Zabu, because what you really need is Gwenpool out earlier. So
yes,
I really hope they do put the activate on this Zabu. I mean, you won't get it. You'll still have to wait a bit for it, but it'll be great to have like 2/4s on a turn 6. So
this was such a dominant card. I mean, they had to do something about it. It was just too overpowered for a while. So I get it, but yeah, who knows? Maybe he'll be making his return very soon. So we'll see. All right, going back to mine. I'm gonna show. I love this version of Wasp. I just love the design of it. How she looks more like a fairy than a bug in this. And I think this is just great. I don't know exactly who the artist is that did it, but I love this variant of Wasp. She's not a card I use very much. I was using her a lot more when Lockjaw was prevalent in those Lockjaw decks, when you would keep throwing them, back and forth in the Lockjaw deck, or when you had Thor and stuff like that. And of course, in High Evo, if you're playing High Evo, she's still decent, doles out that one negative power. But I don't know. I don't even remember where I got this one from, but I just really love the art. I think the art is fantastic on this, and I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Lockjaw.
Yeah. Yep. Poor Lockjaw too, man. There's another card you don't see much anymore. Everybody wanted the poor dog nerfed, and he really took a nerf. All right, your third one is Bast as well.
Yeah, I love. I mean, Galactus was my first Series 5. The next one for me was Bast, and then 2 caches later, I got this variant. So for a long time, I'm pretty sure I was the only person with this variant.
Oh, really?
They didn't pop up. It was totally random for a long time, right? You never knew what you're going to get, right, in your shop. So I found reasons, but I also love this because I think Dan Hip's the best part of Dan Hip variants is the color. He gets 2 or 3 or 4 colors that sort of embody the character.
Yes.
And he really pulls it off here in this variant.
Yeah.
I love the look of it. So
yeah, I love Dan Hipp, man. I do. I love all his cards. I love that Helicarrier. Oh my god, it's beautiful. If I played with Helicarrier, that'd be in every deck. But yeah, I really like his style. It's cartoony, yes, but I like it. I mean, that's what. Look, he worked on Teen Titans. Yeah, I mean, of course, his art's going to be kind of cartoony. That's what he did. So yeah, I really like. In fact, I just somebody will say wasted, but I bought the one that was just in the shop a couple of days ago. His Angel that he did. That no one plays that card. No one, literally. I don't. I have never played it ever, but I love the art. The artwork on that is spectacular. Like it's the purples and the pinks of the outfit, and then you see him shooting the little talons out of his wings. I'm like, it's so beautifully done. Like he just does amazing work on cards. I can't wait for so I think they just showed his Red Hulk. His Red Hulk was just shown out on Twitter, and it looks phenomenal. Like I love his work, man. I just do. I love Dan Hipp. I think he's awesome. I'm came close. I'm almost at a Dan Hipp destroy deck. I think I'm 2 cards away from a Dan Hipp destroy deck. Deadpool, I don't have. I don't even know if he made a Deadpool yet. I don't have that. And then I can't remember what the other card was, but I'm too short of an entire Dan Hipp deck. So, and I don't even play destroy, but it's still pretty cool.
I'm sure Glazer would be very proud.
yeah, he likes his Dan Hipps too. Yeah, Glazer's a big Dan Hipp fan as well. All right. I'm going to go to my next one here, and that is Carnage. This version of Carnage is awesome, man. He's a dragon Carnage. I know this is from a comic book. I'm thinking it was from the one where Null was there and the reign of Null is something or other. I know this is from a book. I've seen it before, but man, I love how this thing jumps off the damn card. Like his wings, when you split him, are all the way off the border of the card, which is insane. I think it just looks awesome. As that red dragon thing, and Carnage has been a lot of iterations over the years in the comic books and stuff. So I just think this is awesome. And again, when you have him in your deck and you're looking at your deck list, all you see is his 2 wings sprouting out the side of the cards and hitting the other cards in the deck. But yeah, I love this one, man. I don't use Destroy much. I very seldom ever play it, but I love this version of Carnage.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it. I think it's really cool. All right, move on to your next one on your list. And it is going to be not Bast. It is, oh my God, everyone's favorite land shark.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Rian Jeff because, man, this is, again, when Jeff came out, I bought him the first day. Like, I knew this was going to be a fantastic card.
Yep.
But this was before they put new variants in the shop. And, like, I'm pretty sure that this, the Gwenpool Jeff and the Rian Jeff, like, 1 week after, they dropped together. But, I didn't see it in my shop. I looked every day, every 8 hours, right? For 100 days, 200 days. Like, man. We got, like, it was like a running joke on Twitter that it was never going to show up. And I would post it, everyone like, it is like day 253 of no Jeff in the shop, no Rian Jeff in the shop. And but then there'd be a bunch of other people who would say the same thing. They would say, yeah, me, I'm waiting for, or they'd have their, like, prized variant that they couldn't get. But eventually, like 1 week before Jeff finally showed up in Spotlight Caches for the very first time, he popped up for me, and I was so I bought him. So happy, I posted, and then like 12 other people were like, "Yeah, he showed up for me," like in the next day or two. So I do think that they have some sort of like rarity on some of their variants as to like when they pop up more often than others, and I know that's true for a fact. Like with some of the like album variants, I know that the album variants have like a higher show rate, their pop-up rate than others. So and depending on the time. So I'm still waiting for there's one that I'm waiting for.
that I can end up getting. I think an album complete. I'm trying to think what it is now off the top of my head. But yeah, some of them are. You're right. Like they'll show up at different times. Now, obviously, when you get a new album out, you're going to get a lot of the cards that are meant for that album. Like today, we got that new Pandart album, and you're getting. They put in a bunch of the cards from that Pandart album out in there today. Don't get me started on that. That became a point of contention that I really don't want to. I really don't want to bring up. The Eliath that's in there is tremendous. I remember seeing that card and I wanted that card really badly because I love the variants. And it's like then I opened up the album and I'm like, wait a minute. Is this backwards? Why is the Green Goblin on level 6 and the card is now level 12? I'm like, oh man. So I was a little upset with that. With the similar thing with the Peach Momoko Thanos. I really want that card. I love that artwork. Loved it since I saw it data mined, and I really want it, but it's so hard. They're all expensive. All those variants are $1,200 a piece. Yep. And it's like, man, dude, like that. It's just hard. And like you just mentioned, like they don't come around often. So if you miss them, it's hard to get them back in your shop all the time. You won't see them. You'll see them sometimes on rotation, but it's hard to find them again. But Jeff, man, is a great card. I have loved this card since I got it. He back then he was a Professor X killer. There I am sitting playing with a Galactus and a Prof X, and I close the lane down, and then all of a sudden they throw a shark. They throw a Jeff. Whoops, there's the Jeff, and it's. Yeah. So yeah, it's such a great card. And they're doing Shark Week pretty soon, which is pretty awesome. You have a whole bunch of those Jeff variants that are coming out, like when he's with other superheroes and stuff like that. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, and they have like 100 different Jeff tags. Yeah. Jeff, like I don't know. It feels like they just went through a random generator to create a bunch of Jeff. I guess it'll be great that we all get something different. But
yeah, I agree. Yeah, why not? Put a little variety in there for sure. My next one is Cap Wolf or Cap Cat. Actually, I think he's a cat. He's definitely a cat. He might be Cap Tiger. I don't know, but look, I like the fun ones that they do sometimes. Like they'll do animal cards, like the Thor Frog card. Of course, that came from the comics. There was a Thor Frog in comics, but. Cap, man, I'm just glad he got a little bit of a day in the sun. He got a little bit of a buff. I was able to ink my favorite Cap variant, which is actually the grainy one. That looks like he's from that's so good. And I split him so many times to get it inked, and it looks phenomenal when that's inked because it looks like you're watching an old style TV show in black and white. And you see all the stuff, the scrambled stuff on the screen. But yeah, this is fun. I like when they come out with these little strange variants of cards that you would never ever think, well, what the hell is Captain America doing as a tiger? But yeah, I just thought this one was cool. The same with all those other animal variant cards that they put out there for other, and I have another one coming up next too. So still not very playable. He was in that ongoing deck list for a little while, but who knows? I still would say rework Cap and give him something better to do since he's such a popular Marvel character. But what are you gonna do? We'll see. They don't want it, I guess, to be too powerful since it's an early in-game card. But who knows? But anyway, yeah, Cap Tiger.
Yeah, I love these the animal variants. It was like this, and then there's the Mooster. Fantastic.
Yeah. The Thor Frog. Yeah. It's fun. All right, we'll go to your next one, and I think this is your last one on your list, and it is Hitmonkey.
Yeah, I forget who the artist is, but for the longest time, this was the only Hitmonkey variant out there beyond the spotlight. No, beyond the
base card.
Yeah, the base card and the level 50 Hitmonkey, which I don't remember if you don't know if you remember, but the level 50 free variant from the season pass was just not good. Like I would play. Sorry, whoever made that. It was like, I don't know, tech, Hitmonkey. I played the base card instead of it just because the base card looked better. So this is one of those variants also that I hunted and searched for, like hoping I would get it. And I finally got this variant. I was so happy. and then they nerfed Hitmonkey. But still, this variant is like when it's animated, it like shines like like the starburst from behind him shines.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I love the work they're doing on these cards lately, man. They some of these cards with the animation look so cool. I'm trying to think. I just had one. Which one did I got? I have to pop open my game real quick. I just got, and the animation for it looks so awesome. Let me see which one it is. Look it up in my list here and pull up my newer cards. What is it? The Cyclops, the Pandart Cyclops. Holy cow! Like you just see, like the beam like resonating out of his eyes. It looks, oh my gosh, it's amazing. There was another one too that looked tremendous. That Electra, the new Electra that was in the bundle, the Electra that has the big swoosh. That looks like she actually looks like a genie in the card almost, but she's diving down from above, and it's that little swoosh of light that's going up over her. But yeah, they are really doing a good job with the animation on the cards. I agree.
Did you aim for any of the Spotlight variants this time around?
This week?
Yeah.
Today? No. It was only, what was it? Darkhawk and Thor. No, I didn't end up going for any. I ended up spending tokens to get Ajax actually today because I wanted to save up. There's some other cards that are coming. Like I want that Thanos, the Thanos that's coming out in the spotlights. I want him. He's from a comic book that I very recently read, so I want him. And then there's a couple others that I'm looking to try to get down the road. There is another Alioth. Someone pointed out to me today. There's an Alioth coming in the Spider-Man season or in the Symbiote season. And it looks kind of like the one that's in that album, except it's kind of a closer up on the what looks like the dragon face. So at least that's coming. So if I don't get the other one, at least I've got that coming down the road. So, and then my last one is another spoof of an animal. On this one's the famous chicken, the Deathlock chicken. I wasn't able to get this until they gave this away on one of those, if you pick the winner of the creator tournaments. Yeah. And I think I picked Lambie, and I end up winning this because Lambie won the tournament. So, yeah, I don't know. It's goofy. It's crazy. It's a big chicken that's going to shoot you and kill you. But, hey, it's fun. It's fun. But again, it's so funny that I picked 2 Destroy cards because I never play Destroy, ever. Like, literally ever. I complain about it all the time too because I don't like it, and I don't like how it's like so geared toward getting like things that help it along the way and stuff like that. So there are our 2 top 5s. That said, I want to ask you about this really quickly. I really hate hot locations. I really do. This one came up, and I'm like, again, I'm going to sit out now and not play for 24 straight hours because all I'm going to see is a bunch of Destroy decks playing Deadpool and playing Carnage on these lists. Yeah. And I'm like, I just, oh my God, I really wish they'd get rid of it. I really do. I know, people are always yelling back at me and telling me, well, yeah, it makes you make a deck around it. I'm like, I don't want to make a deck around the location. I don't want to do that. I don't care. Like, it's like, and then I said, do them twice a month. But don't do them in the opening week because people are trying to get to Infinite, and don't do them in the last week because of the same thing. Because people are still trying to get to Infinite. Do them in the middle, and then whatever. I don't care. If you want to spotlight the new one, that's fine. Have the new one be out there and stuff like that. But why do we need to keep getting these old ones that everybody knows? We played on them a bunch of times. I really wish they would do something. What are your thoughts on spot locations or hot locations?
I do like it when they run the new location as a hot location. I mean, it encourages people to deck build a bit, and I do like that. For this one, I built one, with White Widow and Green Goblin because if you don't do it, then somebody else is, but it kind of stinks. It just I don't know. I don't want it. It's like a race to do that. It's not that fun, right? So, it really depends on the hot location.
Yeah.
In this case, like when they throw in one that's 1 extra power, like it's fine. You can almost play anything, right?
Yeah.
when you really have to deck build, for the first hour or two it's fine, but then it just like slowly goes down to the like best deck that you can do to take advantage, and then it loses fun. But also maybe this is what gets people to play Conquest, or maybe like this will be fine once there's more game modes.
Yeah.
It'll be fine because then you have a choice. But
Right.
for the longest time, this was the only game mode, and
Yep.
you didn't have a choice. You had to play it, or you just didn't play at all, right?
It's true. Yeah, very true. Very true. Well, I gotta ask you. So I ask this of everyone that comes on. What are some things that you personally would like to see done or come to the game? What are some of the things that you would like to see? Maybe something improved, or maybe something that you're looking forward to, like something else that's going to catch your attention. Or you've been playing long enough now that obviously you enjoy the game because you play it a lot and stuff like that. But what is something that if you were a dev and you could change or you could do, what is something that you would bring to Marble Snap?
Oh my goodness. My number one wish desire is for them to put the decks, like the big thing was adding discard and destroy, right? You can see that, but you should be able to see your deck as well. I mean, anyone with a PC runs a deck tracker.
That's very true.
And they can see everything that's still left in their deck. And they build cards that like rely on that, like Blob. They release cards that rely on knowing what's in your deck. There's only 12 cards. You should be able to just click on your avatar and see what's still left in your deck. The same way that you can click on destroy and click on discard. I don't know what's the holdup. I mean, it's such a huge benefit to run. I mean, part of the reason that I don't want to. I mean, part of the reason I play on PC is because like I'm gonna play a match for SJO, right? I'm going to be an Infinite Conquest. Like I need that extra edge, and it is an edge.
Yes.
I don't if you're gonna be mobile forward, like if that's your main platform, which it is, then most people play on mobile. Most people aren't playing on PC. Most people are sitting around. You should just add that little bit, of functionality. So yes, there's more things that I could ask for, but that's my like big main one. 2 would be draft mode. I want to see draft mode so bad, and
me too. Yeah,
like it doesn't have to be like I mean, you can still. I am fine if they charge money for it. I mean, if they charge gold to get in, but as long as they have it like once a day, you get a free pass, or every 8 hours you get a free pass, right? So that you can decide to do it, but then you also can play every once in a while.
Yep. Yeah, 2 great call outs. I have always enjoyed draft. I played Magic a lot in draft mode and Magic Online. And I always loved it because it evens out a playing field. You are playing the game to play the game. You're never if they have a draft round where you get to choose the cards and stuff like that, you're choosing from a pool. So you're just making your own decks from the cards you get available to pick from. And your other comment, man, the deck tracker. I've said this many times. The deck tracker is an advantage. You see all the creators on, I watch a lot of Binks' streams and stuff, and they always have it up on their stream. So you are definitely getting an advantage by having that. You can see, especially in Conquest, where you're going to see the cards they played, you're going to see the cards they haven't played and stuff, or not see the certain cards that. So, but yeah, I agree, and I can't see that's that hard of a thing to implement. I really can't see that that they can put it in, even on like it hasn't even been implemented on PC. Let alone putting it on mobile. So yeah, I agree. I think it's a big thing, and it is an advantage. I've said that it's an advantage for people who play PC that can download that for sure over players that play mobile. I would definitely agree, 100%. Awesome stuff. Awesome, man. Well, look, it has been.
We've gone over a time.
There's no.
It's been great.
I don't care, man. I just talk. It just goes on until it goes. I don't care. I've done these for 2 hours.
What's your big thing? What's your thing that you want to change?
Oh man. I want them to improve Series 3 for new players. Uh, I've heard that from so many people that I've talked to on here that said that
Yeah.
that's an issue, and it is. It is an issue. I last year around, when was it, November maybe, I went back and I started over. I started a new account and I played under a different name, and I started because I saw TLSG do it, and I'm like, you know what, I'm going to give this a shot. So I did, and I felt the pain, man. Like, if you are, you get through Series 1, Series 2, it's cool, but once you, and then you're trying to maybe start to play a little bit on ladder more, and you're trying to play even Conquest and stuff like that, and by the time you get to Series 3, that pool is so different that I was getting blown away by destroyed decks that had every single card they needed, the null, the death, like all the cards that I didn't have. I'm trying to play my goofy little double devil dinosaur deck, and I'm just getting wasted by all these people. So I would love to see that. I think now Nuverse Shop just had them. They just had them where they had bundles that included cards in certain decks. Do that in Series 3. Make a bundle for players. Heck, they're always, you're looking for ways to make money. Give them a Destroy bundle. Give them a Shuri bundle. Give them like 4 cards that they can get, that they can just play a good solid deck through Series 3, because that is the hardest part. It's the hardest part to climb, especially now with all the extra cards that are moving into there. It takes so long. And then the other thing I would like to see too is something for people who can't, for whatever reason, play the game for a little while and then come back to the game. I think a returning player thing, and that's been in almost every mobile game or every game I've played. Hearthstone had it. Now they're doing that with, returning players. They get to catch up. It's like a catch-up mode where they can do, something that. And then, of course, the other thing I think would be, and they've already targeted this, but I would look at these spotlight caches things because I just don't think they're working. I just don't think that they're working the way that they are. It's such a feels bad to get that you're opening that one cache and it's tokens when you're choosing that, and it's to me it's just never seemed right. That what they're trying to do, and I get it. They've tried to change it. They've made some things better, but I don't know. I just think that those are my main 3 things that I would like to see changed. If I had to choose one of those 3, I would probably say the spotlight caches, because I think they're just such a big point of contention. And people just, they don't like that, when they have to, and tokens are getting so hard to come by, and collecting the keys is tough too. So it makes it really difficult for people to get these cards that they want. And the whole thing about the unique collection business, that's over and done. I don't even think they should. I don't even think they should talk about that anymore, because it's just not a thing. People want the cards, plain and simple. So
I completely agree. No, you make really great points. I was one of those people who had, like, the first part of Series 3 was all junk cards, and I didn't have a real complete deck until almost the end of Series 3. I mean, I got lucky and got leader early before there was the leader run and everyone was playing leader. But that's how I got Infinite the first time, was playing leader, because because you could throw it in anywhere. That's the only way I was able to do it. Yeah. I do think that, like, right now they have the deck builder, right? You can throw a card in and then they use like all the other decks to build it for you. I mean, what I would hope, or what they could use that technology, or to suggest, or like to offer cards to people. Like, if you're playing Destroy -2 cards all the time, and that's your main deck, like in the shop once a week, they should offer you like a card that would improve your deck. Like I mean, they've got to find a way to let people like hone in on whatever what their interest is, right? So one day,
might happen. Who knows? Like I said, they did put it on the map, so maybe it will end up coming soon at some point. But yeah. So Listen, man, it was great. I love the conversation. I love being able to chat with you, other than on in messaging. It was great having you on. I really appreciated it. Really had a fun conversation. Yeah, man. Listen, you're awesome, and you're obviously welcome back anytime you want. So thanks for coming on, man. It was fun.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I appreciate it.
I can't wait to see how much how your podcast blossoms. It's already gotten so much better.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
But yeah, you push out so much content. It's amazing.
It's insane. It's crazy, dude.
I don't know how you do it. You're like you, and it's good. So no. Like when now you're the place I go and listen to whenever there's an OTA. Like I'm always kind of curious what your take is. So
that's awesome. I don't know. It just was like I'm like, all right. I see like some of these other people doing like Cozy and stuff like that. I'll put out an OTA thing, and I'm like, yeah, why not? And then I think to myself, I think a lot of times like these other creators are so into the YouTube thing, which I get. That's big, and that's how they make money and stuff like that if they're doing it full time. But I kind of still just like the audio stuff, and I think a lot of people just appreciate that, and the fact that, hey, I can listen to this OTA report in my car while I'm driving to work or something like that, if I'm doing it on audio. So yeah, I thought that it was a bit different, and I'm glad you like it. I'm really happy that you do.
Yeah, I'm a podcast person. I will watch YouTube videos. YouTube a little bit, Twitch a little bit, but most of my interaction with like media, Marvel Snap media beyond Twitter is this. So
yeah, no, I appreciate that, man. I really do. Thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate that. I love getting compliments from people and reading them and stuff like that. It's awesome, and I really appreciate that. Good luck in SJL, man. I hope you win. Do you have your next game set up yet for the week?
They just messaged me while we were talking, so I'm gonna have to set it up.
I didn't get my message.
Good luck on you.
Thank you. Maybe I'll make a comeback. Well, I'm definitely playing Galactus now. There's no doubt I'm playing Galactus now. So if the person that is playing me is listening, well, you know now. But yeah, no, now I'm definitely, because it was funny after I lost, and then you mentioned that. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go look at a Galactus deck. So, but yeah, I'm definitely playing Galactus next time. So, man, keep doing what you're doing. I love what you do on Twitter. The sharing of the variants is awesome. I love seeing all those amazing splits that you share. It's so awesome just seeing that someone does that. So keep up the great work there. I love that. I love that you take the time to do that, and I'm sure the community loves it too. So. Very cool meeting you, my friend, and like I said, definitely you're welcome back anytime. So, guys, it's been fun discussion here with Snap Variants. Please make sure you go check out him over on the X. He does share those variants all the time. So if you ever have a cool variant that you want to see, and just look it up. He of course is on X. Are you on X as Snap Variants now? I can't remember. My mind is okay. So you're at Snap Variants. Nice. Yep. Okay. Nice. So make sure you check them out. And that is going to do it for this episode of Snap Decisions. If you're watching on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you like the video too. It's free to do. You could just, hit the like button. It helps me out in the whole algorithm fight that you fight against YouTube on a daily basis sometimes. So I'd appreciate that. If you're listening on audio, thank you. I love you guys and the audio people that listen. And please make sure that you check out my audio pod that came out also today. I will have, I think I may have another guest at the end of this week or maybe early next week, but it's going to be the kid Snap, of course, from their show, and him and No Big Deal, who I love. They are going to be on with me again. I think they've been on my show 3 times. I've been on theirs like 3 times, I think, so far. Those guys are a lot of fun. So I will have that.
Your first guests?
Right? My first guest ever was Glazer, actually, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think Glazer was my very first guest. I told them many times that I probably wouldn't be doing this show if it wasn't for the kids video. Because I remember watching it and I'm like, dude, this is like all 80s. This is right up my alley. Like, I grew up an 80s kid, so all that neon and everything they had there, I'm like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. So But yeah, so otherwise, oh yeah, and my OTA review. I will have the OTA review out on Thursday. So tune in for that. That will be, of course, audio only. So everyone, please stay safe. Please be kind to one another always. And hopefully I will talk to you all on my next show. This is your Marvel Snap DJ signing off.